Our old friend VAR is yet again back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Is it because the system isn't working, or is it because the referees are simply not good enough to govern it properly? This is the Toon Review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul back again and just taking a break from all the transfer rumours to talk about our old friend VAR, which has come back into the headlines again over the weekend. It's not really gone away, has it, to be fair? There's always a decision over any match day weekend that comes to light that the VAR have made a complete balls up of the situation. And the latest one being what happened at Crystal Palace at the weekend. Diogo Jota going in on goal, has a look at the ball, realises it's going to run out of play, then sees the goalkeeper where he is and simply runs into him. There's no doubt in anybody's mind what Jota does. He runs into the goalkeeper, he goes down, and then after a marathon amount of time, VAR decides, and the referee, to give a penalty kick. It's absolutely ludicrous because, you look at my team, Newcastle, and you think, right, the Fraser incident against Man City, very, very similar, apart from the fact that Fraser was trying to chase down the defender and Edison took him out. Simply took him out. And VAR decided, well, very, very briefly, in fact, to look at that. Yet there was so long to decide that Liverpool deserved a penalty yesterday. Now, it's crazy. And you get Jurgen Klopp coming out saying, well, it was a decision the referee gave. And he wonders why there's so much backlash against Liverpool, especially when he comes out with garbage like that. I really, really was disappointed with Jota because he played for the penalty. But yet again, it's the bigger teams that are getting these decisions. We look back to Newcastle's game at Anfield just before Christmas. Penalty incident with Ryan Fraser again, brought down by Alexander-Arnold, nothing given, not even looked at. Now, I've always thought in the past that people have been talking rubbish about conspiracy and corruption and things like that, but the more that this goes on, the more you have to agree with that situation and think, right, yes, there is something wrong, badly going on here, because the top teams are getting these decisions. Manchester United's one at the weekend with Cavani. He was offside. No doubt in anybody's mind that that guy was offside, and yet it wasn't given, and it was played on. Now, if that had been a lower league team, they would have gone back and looked at that and said, yes, that is offside. And then you get people coming on saying, well, from Manchester United's point of view, coming on saying, well, it's not offside because it was his hand. His hand was offside and his hand isn't responsible for putting the ball in the net. I've never heard so much crap in my life. Yet you look back to Newcastle against Villa earlier in the season. Callum Wilson. How was he offside there? They suddenly made his foot look about 21 foot long to give the offside. What is going on? Now, you can talk conspiracy all you want, but you can also talk, is the system actually working and is it doing what it's supposed to be and why it was put into place in the first place? I'm not so sure it is. But then you look on the flip side of that and you think, right, is it the referees? Are they actually good enough to govern this kind of technology? Because you have to start asking questions why they make some serious errors. VAR was put there to overturn clear and obvious errors. It isn't doing that. It's making even more errors. And I've heard some people come out over the weekend, pundits as well, saying, well, let's scrap it. Go back to just a referee's decision. Football as it was kind of thing. Now, I think VAR in certain circumstances is a good idea. Looking at potential sendings off for, dangerous play. But they're still not even getting that right. It was an incident a weekend. I'm trying to remember the game. I think it was was it the Chelsea game? I'm not sure. But somebody went in with a huge high foot right down the thigh of the opposition player, and VAR looked at it and deemed that a yellow card. It's absolute crazy. It was a blatant red card. You can't tackle like that. But again, are we talking about referees not being able to do the job properly, or are we talking about corruption with the bigger teams? Because serious questions have to be asked over this weekend if VAR is actually a good idea. But then you look back to the Euros in the last summer, and it was brilliantly done. There was hardly any delays. Decisions were made in a snap, and they were all correct decisions. There wasn't any controversy like there is in the Premier League week in and week out. But I do question the referees. I question whether they're actually good enough to govern this technology and actually good enough to referee in the first place. There's one referee I respect in the Premier League at the minute, and that's Michael Oliver. And I always have liked Michael Oliver. I think he's a brilliant referee. And yes, he will make mistakes from time to time. It's human nature to make mistakes. But on this consistent basis, not for me. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong, either with VAR or in the Premier League itself. Because some of these decisions now are becoming ludicrous and they're costing teams big style. And I understand Patrick Vieira being absolutely furious yesterday because it was never a penalty. And obviously, Liverpool were 2-1 up at the time, but Palace had just pulled a goal back. They were getting back into the game, and Liverpool get the penalty, and it kills the game off again. It kills the spirits. Because it was an awful, awful decision that should never have been given in the first place. So it knocked Palace's confidence, and this is what it does. And we've seen it time and time again in the Premier League this season. Very strange VAR decisions. So for me, I don't know where we go with this technology. Whether we bring independent people in who aren't referees to do VAR. Who aren't involved in the refereeing of week-to-week matches. Bring an independent person in to sit on VAR. Whether that be, someone who is hired by the Premier League or someone like that. Get rid of the referees overlooking VAR because it's completely wrong. Something needs to be done, and something of an independent nature in my opinion. It's gone against Newcastle United loads of times this season. Yeah, we've benefited from a couple, but my God, it's starting to affect all the teams lower down in the Premier League. Yet the teams at the top end seem to get these decisions all the time. And I for one, am fed up with it. I really am fed up to the back teeth of it. But what do we do as fans? What can we do? We know there's some sort of corruption in the Premier League. We know that from the takeover and the lack of information and the panic in the Premier League. When the first cat case was done, suddenly all of a sudden the takeover goes through. There is something going on behind the scenes that nobody will probably ever know about. But given these decisions over the weekend and over this season, something seriously has to be asked about VAR. But where do we go? Where do we go? Leave a comment down below. Let me know your opinion on VAR. Let me know what you think should be done. Should it be somebody independent? Not a referee sitting on the VAR screens who can actually look at it in a non-biased way? Or should it be scrapped? Keep goal line technology, but just scrap VAR altogether. Because it's causing more uproar than it is actually getting things right. But again, is that because the technology is wrong, or is it because we've got bozos who sit and try and work this VAR out and make absolutely dreadful decisions on a consistent basis? It's an interesting topic, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you have enjoyed the video, guys, please do hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, do consider subscribing. You can also become a member of the Toon Review if you hit that join button, which is right next to the subscribe. And a big shout out to the Toon Review sponsors, Geordie Riffs, guitar repair and setup company in the northeast of England. If you have any problems with your guitar, take it to see Graham and Natalie, and they will offer you 10% off your first repair or 10% off your first guitar setup, and they will also offer you your first guitar lesson completely free of charge. Just quote the Toon Review to them. So go and check them out. Their website is listed below in the description, and they're also on Facebook and Twitter as well. So go and give them a look up if you're into your guitars. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Keep an eye out on the channel for more live shows coming up this week. Plenty of them, with it being the last week of the transfer window. But in the meantime, guys, take care.